Economic sustainability. The definition of this term can be greatly varying depending on who's using it. If a national government is using the term, according to think.org, economic sustainability occurs when a political unit has the preferred percent of its population below its preferred minimum standard of living level. The lower the living standards and levels of the population, the easier for the government to sustain. For many business owners, entrepreneurs, and community banks, the term economic sustainability has a much different meaning.
Economic sustainability is a community or a particular business's ability to adapt and react to certain forces that impact the market. Businesses have three choices these days. They can innovate, they can immigrate, or they can evaporate. Community banks like the First can actually be nimble when it comes to providing access to credit for customers. They can invest in things that provide true economic sustainability like downtown redevelopment. They can get to know you as a person. They can get to know your business specifically because you're dealing with the decision maker and the folks that provide that access to credit that businesses so desperately need these days.
Creating a community that is financially stable, independent of what happens globally or even nationally, is a newfound focus among many in today's economic climate of sustained uncertainty. With 50% of all private sector jobs being created by small businesses, and these businesses generating 65% of net new jobs over the past 17 years, investing in small business seems logical for those interested in actually growing the economy. For the small business owners of America that are trying to survive against all odds, having a financial partner that understands and is an integral part of their community is essential to their success.
Well, for us being a small family business here in town, we've been here for 22 years, it was very easy to go to the local folks because we know them all, and they didn't have to run our request up the flagpole to New York City or Chicago or Charlotte to get an approval to do what we needed to do. I have a business plan. I need that business plan to work quickly and efficiently, and I don't need to wait for large corporations with guys in back boardrooms making those decisions whether I can loan the money or not.
According to Wikipedia, an investment bank is a financial institution that assists individuals, corporations, and governments in raising capital by underwriting and/or acting as the client's agent in the issuance of securities. Investment banks do not take deposits, and their owners are mostly offshore in foreign nations and have no vested interest in growing the economy of our nation's communities. A traditional community is just about the complete opposite of those too-big-to-fail conglomerates.
The regulatory burden really has been unnecessarily and unduly put on the backs of the community banks, but really they weren't the ones that caused the problems. The community bank follows a simple business model. We gather deposits locally, we reinvest those in our local communities to people that we know, people that we sit on boards with, that we go to church with, that we see out on Friday night at the football games. And so all of our resources and all of our profits all center and stay locally.
When it comes to being members of the community, the folks of The First, a traditional community bank in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, are about as community as you can be. Beginning on the back porch of the home of one of its founders in Hattiesburg 16 years ago, The First was started by a group of local business people that decided it was time for the people of South Mississippi and Louisiana to have a local bank to serve them, to serve their interests. Though The First is publicly traded, the majority of its shareholders are local. Like most traditional community banks that were established to grow local economies, The First gathers deposits in the markets they serve and reinvests those deposits locally by making loans. In many aspects, this is what banking was like when this nation was being formed, minus the regulatory burdens.
If I'm interested in my local community becoming financially independent and financially stable, then I would prefer that my banking assets be held in a community bank. And if we do that countrywide, we're really just getting back to what built the nation. That's how it started, is that local banks funded local economies who grew strong independently, and then when you put them all together, they build an awful strong foundation for a nation that can go forth and prosper.
To learn more about The First Bank, visit their website online at thefirstbank.com.